Good evening, everybody. Welcome. You are on the cutting edge, and I am Buck Wild. Let's not waste a minute. Let's get right to the stories here. This first one is from the Gateway Pundit. An Oklahoma man was out on early release. He was serving a 20-year sentence for drug charges. He'd been out a month. He broke into this woman's home, killed her, cut out her heart, and then went to the home of his aunt and uncle and cooked it and tried to make them eat it. Then he proceeded to try and murder his aunt, his uncle, and their grandchild. The aunt is expected to survive. The governor of Oklahoma said that he commuted this man's sentence on the recommendation of the parole board. If I were him, I wouldn't listen to any further recommendations from them, period. This next story is from Fox News. Joe Biden claims to have been arrested on the Senate floor when he was 21 years old. If you do even the most moderate or modest amount of research, you'll discover that Joe Biden lied. This never occurred. Joe Biden has lied constantly about everything that he's done in his life. And as a matter of fact, he's had to scrub at least one run for the presidency because his lies were found out and exposed in the media. Yet somehow the media and politicians like Mitt Romney want to say that people like George Santos should be kicked out of Congress because they lied and made up stuff on their resume. Well, he probably just learned by watching the man that's sitting behind the desk in the White House right now. This story is from Fox News. Twitter explodes after former Biden spokesperson praises the president for working at 9 a.m. I don't know about you guys. I get up at like 5:30 or 6 just about every freaking day of the week because I have to be at work at 8 o'clock, right? But somehow the president of the United States, who is apparently the most powerful man on the planet, doesn't have to roll into the office until about 9 o'clock in the morning. And Jen Psaki, when Biden was giving a speech about the banking crisis last week, Jen Psaki was saying, he usually doesn't get rolling before 9 a.m. So because he's a night owl, so this must have been really important. I'd like to suggest to you it has nothing to do with him being a night owl. Joe Biden at this point in his presidency has spent 40% of his time on vacation. So I'd like to suggest that the reason he doesn't do anything before 9 a.m. is because he's not physically or mentally capable of doing anything before 9 a.m. in the morning. I mean, he's 80 years old, for crying out loud. That being said, my 90-year-old mother could run circles around this dork. This will make you chuckle. Climate activists glued themselves to a tanker full of oil in protest. The problem? It was a tanker full of cooking oil, not crude oil. If all climate activists are this stupid, we are in big trouble. But you know what? I hope they used super glue. I hope it's really painful to get unglued from that container. If you could see me right now, I'd be shaking my head and rolling my eyeballs. Morons. Lastly, this is from The Hill. Border Patrol Chief, what is his name? Raul Ortiz told lawmakers that the southern border is not secure. That the U.S. government does not have operational control of the border. These claims come despite the fact that our, quote, border czar, Kamala Harris, and the Director of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, have both said that the border is secure. According to NBC, not a right-wing news organization, NBC, migrant crossings as of October 22nd, 2022, October of last year, topped 2.76 million, almost 3 million. And those are just the ones that they know came across. One of the things that our church does is encourage us to pray for the president and basically every elected leader. And this is based on Romans 13:1, which essentially says that when we do this, we acknowledge that those who are in positions of power may have been allowed to be there by God for a specific purpose. When we pray for them, we are praying that God's will be done. And I do this every day, but it still sticks in my craw. If you read the Bible or are familiar with the Bible at all, then you'll know that King David, who was described as a man after God's own heart, wrote the Psalms. And in Psalm 109, King David says, he's talking about his enemies here. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children become beggars, and his wife a widow. Let there be none to extend him mercy, neither let them be any to favor his fatherless children. I know that may sound a little harsh, but I think that those are the times that we are in. That's my personal opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all, and have a good evening.